The Galactic Council chamber buzzed with tension. Representatives from dozens of species sat in their designated seats, their expressions ranging from concern to outright horror. A massive screen hovered above the center of the room, displaying footage collected from a newly discovered species, humans. The current speaker, an elder from the Vorten Collective, a species that had eradicated all predatory life from their homeworld centuries ago, adjusted his breathing apparatus before speaking. This is unacceptable, he said, his voice trembling. These creatures not only tolerate predators, they befriend them. A ripple of unease spread through the chamber. Another representative, a being from the pacifist Tivan Confederacy, tapped its many fingers against the table in agitation. It defies logic. Apex predators are uncontrollable, volatile. No advanced civilization would allow them to exist, let alone interact with them. The screen shifted, showing a human standing beside a massive wolf-like creature. The beast bared its teeth, but the human merely laughed and ruffled its fur. Then, a clip of a human swimming with a creature the database identified as a great white shark appeared. The alien delegation collectively recoiled. A deep, rumbling voice spoke next. It belonged to a member of the Krillvok Dominion, a species that had fought a brutal war to rid their planet of its ancient hunters. And yet, the Krillvok representative mused, they do not fear them. These humans, they hold no weapons, no containment fields, no genetic modifications to pacify these creatures. They do not conquer them. They live with them. A murmur of debate ignited across the chamber. Was this a sign of human madness? Recklessness? Some unknown form of control? The council leader, a towering being from the Zalari Union, raised a hand, silencing the room. This phenomenon must be studied before we act. We cannot afford to misjudge a species that exhibits such unorthodox behavior. The Tivan delegate scoffed. You wish to study them? What if their methods spread? What if their disregard for order leads to chaos among the stars? The Krillvok representative leaned forward. Or what if they have uncovered a strength we do not understand? Silence fell. The implications were unsettling. For eons, the Galactic Council had operated under the belief that true civilization meant eliminating the dangers of the wild. Yet here was a species that had not only survived among predators but had thrived alongside them. After a long pause, the council leader made the decision. We will send an envoy to Earth. They will observe these humans, learn their ways, and determine whether they are a threat, or something far more dangerous. The chamber erupted in murmurs once more, but the decision was final. A representative would be chosen, and soon, an alien would walk among the humans to uncover the truth. The envoy arrived on Earth under the cover of darkness, their ship hidden beneath a dense forest canopy. Every instinct screamed at them to leave. The planet was teeming with life unpredictable, untamed, and, most disturbingly, filled with creatures that should not coexist peacefully with an intelligent species. From a safe vantage point, the envoy deployed observational drones, scanning for human interactions with Earth's most dangerous predators. What they found defied reason. A human stood in an open field, facing down a massive, furred carnivore. Data identified it as a wolf dog, a hybrid of a domesticated canine and a wild predator. The creature growled, lips curling back to reveal sharp fangs. The human, inexplicably, showed no fear. Instead, they crouched slightly, extending a hand. The envoy tensed, waiting for the inevitable attack. But the beast stepped forward, sniffed the human's palm, and wagged its tail. Moments later, it was rolling onto its back as the human scratched its stomach. The envoy replayed the footage 3 times. It made no sense. No advanced species would willingly interact with a predator, let alone one capable of lethal aggression. Another drone relayed footage from an oceanic location. A human swam, completely exposed, alongside a massive creature identified as a great white shark. The envoy's appendages curled in revulsion. The sheer size difference alone should have made the human a victim. The shark circled, coming within a hair's breadth of the human's legs. Yet the human remained calm, extending a hand as if greeting an equal. The shark hesitated, then swam away. The envoy's mind raced. Was this some form of telepathic control? A hidden technology that manipulated the predator's instincts. No other logical explanation existed. More data streamed in. A group of humans discovered a young bear cub ensnared in a wire fence. The envoy expected them to retreat, to flee before the inevitable arrival of the mother. Instead, they worked quickly, cutting the wires and freeing the small creature. Within moments, the mother bear emerged from the trees. The humans should have been slaughtered on sight. But the mother bear did not charge. She merely watched as the humans backed away, giving her space. Then, incredibly, she nudged her cub forward and disappeared into the woods. The envoy's breathing quickened. This was no accident. Time and time again, humans engaged with predators in ways that defied every known survival instinct. They did not cower, they did not exterminate, they interacted. For the first time, the envoy questioned everything they had been taught about intelligent life. The Galactic Council had deemed predators a threat to civilization. Yet here was a species that had risen to dominance not by eradicating danger, but by understanding it. This was no mere anomaly. This was something deeper, something fundamental to human nature. The envoy knew what had to be done. Observation was not enough. They needed to speak to one of these humans to understand, firsthand, how a species could walk alongside death and call it a friend. The envoy approached with extreme caution, their form cloaked in an adaptive camouflage field. The human sat near a campfire, surrounded by vast wilderness, seemingly at ease despite the rustling of unseen creatures in the darkness. A large avian predator, identified as a golden eagle, perched on their gloved arm. The envoy hesitated. Even at a distance, they could sense the raw power in the bird's talons. Yet the human showed no fear. The camouflage flickered as the envoy stepped forward, revealing themselves. The eagle reacted first, its head snapping toward them, sharp eyes locking on. The human didn't startle. Instead, they simply observed. "You're not from around here," the human said, voice steady. There was no panic, no instinctive retreat. The envoy struggled to process this reaction. No fear. No aggression. Only curiosity. "Why do you live among predators?" the envoy asked, their translator struggling to convey the depth of their disbelief. "Your species should dominate them, not coexist." The human chuckled, a sound the envoy couldn't quite categorize. "Dominate? That's not how it works. We respect them, and sometimes, they respect us back." The envoy's mind raced. "But they are dangerous." "So are we," the human replied easily. "Danger isn't the enemy. Ignorance is." The eagle shifted its weight, stretching its massive wings before settling again. The human extended an arm, offering the envoy a closer look. Instinct screamed at them to recoil, but they forced themselves to remain still. The eagle's sharp gaze held an intelligence that was unnerving. It wasn't tamed, it was willing. The envoy needed more. "How do you control them?" "We don't," the human said simply. "We understand them. We learn their boundaries, their signals, their needs. We give them a reason to trust us." A soft rustling drew the envoy's attention. A large, furred creature, Data identified it as a wolf, emerged from the trees. It moved with calculated precision, muscles rippling beneath its thick coat. A predator in every sense of the word. The envoy tensed, prepared to activate their emergency beacon. But then, something astonishing happened. The wolf approached the human, sniffed their hand, then gently nudged their arm before sitting beside them. There were no chains, no force, no subjugation, just quiet acceptance. The envoy's entire worldview cracked. This wasn't manipulation. This wasn't dominance. This was something else entirely. "You fear predators," the human said, watching them carefully. "We used to as well. But fear alone doesn't make you strong. Understanding does." The envoy remained silent, their mind racing. Everything they knew about survival, about civilization, about control, it was all being rewritten in real time. They had come to observe. Instead, they were learning. And for the first time, the envoy wondered if the Galactic Council had been wrong all along. The Galactic Council chamber was silent as the envoy stood before them. Every eye was locked on the display, showing the recorded footage of humans and their predators. No one spoke as images of sharks, wolves, and bears coexisting with humans played on the massive screen. When the final clip ended, a high-ranking Tivan delegate broke the silence. "This is insanity." Their voice was sharp, accusing. "Predators cannot be reasoned with. They are chaos. Instinct-driven. Yet you claim these humans have mastered them without control measures?" The envoy straightened. "They have not mastered them. They have earned their trust." A ripple of unease spread through the chamber. The concept was foreign, even disturbing. The Vorten elder leaned forward. "Explain." The envoy took a measured breath. "Humans do not dominate these creatures through force or suppression. They learn their behaviors, respect their boundaries, and in return, the predators on their own terms accept them. It is not manipulation. It is understanding." A murmur of debate erupted. Some scoffed. Others leaned in, intrigued. The Krillvok representative, who had remained silent until now, finally spoke. "And you believe this makes them stronger?" The envoy met their gaze. "Yes. Stronger than we ever realized." A pause. The statement unsettled many. Strength, in galactic terms, had always been measured in military power, technological advancement, or territorial control. But this was something else entirely. The Tivan delegate scoffed. "This is not strength. It is recklessness." Or perhaps, the Krillvok representative countered, "It is the purest form of power." The debate ignited instantly. Some saw humans as a danger, a species that defied the natural order. Others saw them as a potential key to something greater, a bridge between civilization and the wild. The council leader finally raised a hand, restoring order. "What does this mean for the future?" The envoy hesitated before speaking. "It means humanity is not a species we should fear for their weapons or their ambition. We should fear them because they see danger not as something to destroy, but as something to understand. And that changes everything." Silence. The weight of the words settled over the chamber. For the first time in recorded history, the Galactic Council was forced to consider an idea more dangerous than war, more unsettling than conquest. The idea that true power was not in eradicating threats, but in learning to live beside them.